Hello again, fellow friends. Now, I love Skyrim. It's my favourite game. You may have seen a video or two I've done about it. I'm really looking forward to The Elder Scrolls 6, but Bethesda have basically said, oh, we're working on some stuff, but none of it is Elder Scrolls 6 just yet. And that sucks because we're probably not going to see one this decade. But that doesn't stop me from making a video where I detail everything that I want to see in Elder Scrolls 6 and get some impressions on what you guys think. So without further ado, let's begin this. Number 1. I want it to be set in Elsewhere. Now, a lot of people reckon it's going to be set in Valenwood, and that would be cool, you know, with the lush, dense jungles and trees and stuff, and the villages all up in the trees. But we have already had elf locations in Elder Scrolls games. We've never had beast locations in the main series, to my knowledge. Also, in Skyrim, I think Elsewhere is probably the province described in the most detail, apart from the province of Skyrim, because you speak to the Khajiit and they describe it.
The Khajiit hail from a distant land called Elsewhere, bordered on the north by Cyrodiil, and the south by the glistening blue waters of the sea. Elsewhere is an arid land of deserts and rocky canyons, where the sun shines warmly, always. There are cities so ancient, the sands have swallowed them whole. But now I will say no more, for I miss my home greatly.
Okay. That would be cool. That would be a new take on an Elder Scrolls game, because let's face it, we've had trees before, Cyrodiil. So yeah, hopefully it's going to be set in Elsewhere. Number 2. I love the dragons in Skyrim. They were one of my most favourite things to do. Even in the late game, there was a sense of fun to them, because you're fighting these giant winged beasts. And I don't want the next Elder Scrolls game to go without that sort of thing, so I don't know whether this is lore-friendly or not. I haven't looked into it. Probably not. But what about giant sandworms? Say it is set in Elsewhere. Giant sandworms, kind of like the ones from Tremors or those black and white ones in Beetlejuice. Just huge sandworms that pop up every now and then, and they're like dragon encounters in Skyrim. How awesome would that be? Exactly. Number 3. I want dynamic environments in the next Elder Scrolls game. It never really occurred to me until someone pointed it out that in Skyrim, if someone stood in a pool of water, you can't zap it and have them be electrocuted. And I was like, oh, yeah, that's a good point. And that led me to think, I want to be able to zap people that stood in pools of water. I want to be able to set fire to grass and trees and watch it spread, like Far Cry style. I want to be able to freeze water, like maybe walk on lakes and stuff. How awesome would that be? Dynamic environments, they've got to happen in the next Elder Scrolls game. Number 4. Spellcrafting. Because Skyrim didn't have spellcrafting. What the fuck, Bethesda? What are you doing? Put it back in. Number 5. I don't want to see any weapon or armor degradation systems. I know a lot of people like them, but a lot of people don't, including me. I don't want to be having half my inventory taken up by repair hammers, and then I'll start a dungeon with my sword being quite strong, and then if I don't keep using these repair hammers every now and then, my sword will get weaker, and it's just like, no. I just want to have this sword, boom, I made it, it's going to stay at these stats forever. That's what I want. Same goes for armor. Keep that shit out of the next Elder Scrolls game, please. Number 6. More armor customization. Everyone loves making your character look personalized in Elder Scrolls games, and I've been thinking maybe they should take a cue from... Oh, sorry, I almost threw up a little bit there. They should take cues from... fuck. They should take views from the Elder Scrolls Online. Oh, fucking hell. Oh, I only just got through that. Because that game, the one I just mentioned, allows you to dye your armor different color, different pieces, different colors. It allows you to craft different variations of each style, so you can have Ultima steel armor or Orcish steel armor. You know, all this different customization, more armor styles to customize your character. That would be good. And also, the armor should visually improve in quality when you upgrade it from, say, flawless to legendary. You should see it look like it's in better condition. That should be a thing. So make them look better and give us more customization, please. Number 7. A grappling hook. Because why not? Can you name one gaming franchise that introduced a grappling hook and got worse as a result? I can't think of any. If the game is set in Elsewhere, imagine scaling ancient ruins using this grappling hook, or like swinging through the jungle maybe with it. You know, just more mobility in an Elder Scrolls game, that would be good. Yeah, it might be law-breaking or whatever, I don't know, but if it seems viable, I think they should include it. Or, if the game isn't set in Elsewhere, if it is set in Valenwood, it would be even more useful, because you're constantly going up in the trees, aren't you, in Valenwood? So, grappling hook, because why not? Number 8. Better, deeper, longer guilds. I really like the guilds in Oblivion. I'd never played any game that had anything like that, and it blew my mind how much work you had to go through just to get into the Arcane University. That shit was cool. And then you play Skyrim and it's like, okay, I've turned up at the Mages College, and then 3 days later you're like, okay, I'm running the Mages College. The guilds were good in Skyrim, they were just way too short. The Dark Brotherhood was one of the better ones, and the Thieves Guild is probably the best, because it is just the longest, and it has all that hardcore stuff near the end. Better guilds, come on. We know you can do it. Number 9. Better followers. I want them to be able to keep up with the player. In Skyrim, this was like the bane of my existence. When I got the modded version on the PS4, I was like, oh good, all these modded followers actually keep up with you like they do in Fallout 3 and Fallout New Vegas and Oblivion. But in vanilla Skyrim, you could be running along and turn around, and quite often your follower just was nowhere to be seen. They were just miles away. So they should be able to keep up. They should be able to ride horses as well, because the main reason I don't buy horses in Skyrim is because what am I going to do? Ride my horse and just have my follower run next to me? And I'll be leaving them more in the dust. So let them ride horses and let them keep up. And also have, personalized quests and relationships with them. So I'm pretty much asking for the Fallout 4 followers, but cranked up to 11. It shouldn't be that hard. Just put a bit more time into the followers, maybe. Also, allow us to have more than one and a pet. Allow us to have more like you did in Oblivion. Come on. Number 10. Kids that aren't arseholes. One of the things I liked about Fallout 4 was that Bethesda actually showed me they can make a game with kids in it that I don't want to kill all of them. Because you look at Fallout 3, and all the kids in that are just annoying as fuck. It's just like, why did they make them so annoying? And then they made them unkillable as well, so it's like, no wonder they're so annoying. They know they're untouchable. Same in Skyrim. Stop making them arseholes. In Fallout 4, the kids weren't arseholes. They were more like actual people. So if you're going to have kids in it, don't make them arseholes. Or if you have to make them arseholes, make them killable. That's the sort of compromise that I'm willing to make. Right. Number 11. No limit on the gold shopkeepers have to trade. I love Skyrim, as I may have mentioned, but my god, is it annoying when you go back to Whiterun and Bellathor's got 750 gold, and you're like, well, I'm carrying this piece of armor that's worth 2 grand, mate. So I can sell it to you, but I'll be at a loss. And yeah, you can put points into speech and stuff, but it's like, you shouldn't have to do that to get a decent amount of money from people. I don't know why they implemented a limit on how much gold the shopkeepers have, because normally I just go back to Bellathor's, I sell him 750 gold's worth of crap, and then I just wait 2 days in-game, and then he's restocked his money, and then I'll sell more stuff. But I gotta sit there while those 2 days pass by. I'm carrying like 20,000 gold's worth of stuff on me, and it's like, I'm gonna be here for 10 minutes just selling stuff. Why don't you just have the shopkeepers have unlimited amounts of money, and then you can just go to the shop and say, have all my crap. So please, let the shopkeepers have no limit on the gold they have to trade. Number 12. Daedric weapons and artifacts should level with you so they're always viable. I can't believe I have to say this, because I thought it would just be obvious, but in Skyrim, you get a Daedric artifact, a couple of days of play later it's useless to you. Some of them you can upgrade, I will give you that. Some of them you can upgrade to bring their level up, but usually their enchantment doesn't level with it. Say you get Dawnbreaker at level 12, and then the next evening you're playing Skyrim, and you're level 16, and it's like, well, Dawnbreaker's too weak now, I can't use it. Make the Daedric weapons and artifacts should level with you. That's what I believe. Number 13. Now, this might be a controversial one, but I want them to reveal what happened to the Dwemer. I haven't delved too deep into the history and the lore, but as far as I know, they just vanished and no one really knows what happened to them. I don't know whether the guys at Bethesda have actually come up with an idea of where they went, whether they've written that into the lore, who knows. But I would like the next Elder Scrolls game to maybe give up the ghost on that mystery and just tell us what happened to the Dwemer in detail. Have it be like a guild almost, where you just do a whole series of quests, and then as you near the end, you're like, hold up, this is going all dwarvish, and then they reveal it and stuff. That would be good. Number 14, Animorphs. I mean, Therianthropy. That should be a skill tree. It's basically the ability to turn into animals, like, lycanthropy is a variation of Therianthropy. I think there should be a skill tree. I don't know how they would implement it. It's got to be law-breaking, but I mean, how cool would it be? Just have a whole skill tree devoted to being able to just change into different animals. Not necessarily werewolves or other supernatural things, but maybe some of the creatures of the land, or something that would just be cool, like maybe a bird. You turn into a bird and fly. I'm just spitballing ideas here. I'm just thinking, mate. You had werewolves in Skyrim, and everyone's like, yeah. And then you brought out werebears in the DLC, and it's like, I want to be a werebear. Think about it. And finally, number 15, the big one. I want to see co-op in Elder Scrolls. I don't want to see massive multiplayer online. I don't want to see 4 or 5 player co-op. I just want to be able to put Skyrim on. No, I don't. I want to be able to put Elder Scrolls 6 on, have my friend do the same, and then I can just join his game, and the two of us can adventure in the new Elder Scrolls game. That's all I want. I think a lot of people also would like just that. Nothing major, nothing fancy, just maybe I'm downplaying how much of a job it would be to implement such a feature. Maybe. I mean, I did read, shortly before Fallout 4 came out, Todd Howard said that when someone asked him if there would be multiplayer in Fallout 4, he said something along the lines of, whenever they start making a game, they always approach the idea of multiplayer, like co-op. If they don't think it would fit well with the project they already have in mind, or if they don't think it will work well, then they just won't do it, because, you know, they don't want to put it out and have it be totally fucked. Which I can respect. On the other side of that respect coin, come on, how hard can it be? Just to have one person playing with another person. You know, I'm sure there's complications with regards to different levels of characters and how would they scale things. You know, you wouldn't want it like Borderlands where you're level 10 and your friend's level 30 and he's just like killing all his enemies that you can't touch. I don't know how they would do it, but, you know, these are the guys that made Skyrim. My favourite game of all time. I have confidence that they can allow two players to play their game at once, together. I'm sure they have that within their power. And that's the 15 things I want to see in the Elder Scrolls 6 Elsewhere. Let me know what you guys think. Let me know if you think it's going to be an Elsewhere or Valenwood or wherever. Let me know how many of my ideas are shit and just are impossible to implement for various reasons. Let me know what you want to see in the game. I'm just rambling now, so cheers for watching. Peace.